Hello, welcome back to our channel Nursing Career Club. Today we will discuss on Home Health Aid Unit 12 Sanitation Safety and First Aid. Introduction. We will talk about introduction. Home Health Aid play a crucial role in ensuring sanitation, safety and providing first aid to clients in their care. So home health provides us proper safety and first aid to the clients and to the patients, and it also prevent the diseases which occurs in many people. First aid is the initial assistance for or treatment given to someone who is injured or suddenly becomes ill before full medical treatment can be provided. So first aid is provided in is an essential part of the treatment. When someone injured and fall ill, then the first aid is provided, such as bandages and antibiotics are given on the time of the first aid. After that, the full medical service is provided. Definition of sanitation. Sanitation refers to the conditions and practices that help maintain health and prevent the spread of diseases. So, sanitation is related to the good environment. If our environment will be good, then our health will also be good. It is related to the proper cleanliness in our surroundings. It involves the safe and hygienic management of human and animal waste, the provision of clean drinking water, proper disposal of solid waste, and maintaining cleanliness in personal and public environments. And it depends on an individual that how he or she maintain the surroundings of their houses and their environment, and they need to be aware that the environment should be clean so that we can save our lives from the diseases. Definition of safety. Safety refers to the state of being protected from harm, injury, or danger. It involves identifying and eliminating hazards, implementing preventive measures, and creating conditions that minimize risks to individuals or groups. So we can define the safety as it plays a crucial role in our good wealth and our good health. If we are safe, then our health will also be safe. While we are driving a bike or a car, then we should use a proper belt and a proper helmet while driving so that we can be free from any injury and any danger. Safety measures can encompass various aspects of life, including physical, occupational, environmental, and personal safety. And our safety is related to the various sectors, such as our lifespan, and our physical and mental health, and our surroundings. And what about our environment? It is also related to our personal safety. The basics of first aid. First aid is the initial assistance or treatment given to someone who is injured or suddenly becomes ill before full medical treatment can be provided. Here are the basic principles and steps in administering first aid. So, first aid is provided when a man or woman got injured or fall ill, then they need to get a first aid. Then the first aid is provided to them, and the bandage is wrapped around the injured place of their body, And in case of illness, antibiotics are provided as a first aid. There are several steps to administer first aid. Assess the situation, check for responsiveness, call for help, ABCs of first aid, control bleeding, manage injuries, comfort, monitor vital signs, provide additional assistance. This is all about the basics of first aid. Now we will talk about the precautions to be taken for personal safety. Assess risks in different situations, identify hazards such as slippery floors, uneven surfaces, poor lighting, or suspicious individuals. There is a hazardous situation if our surroundings are very bad and there is a particular type of a smell and our environment is not clean well, then there may be a harmful impact on our health. And poor lighting, if there is poor lighting, then we cannot survive our life in that situation. And suspicious individuals, they are in suspense, so they cannot get a proper treatment. Take steps to minimize these risks, such as using handrails, wearing appropriate footwear, or avoiding poorly lit areas. Now we have to come forward to save ourselves from these risks, such as we have to use handrails, and we need to wear proper footwear, or we should keep away from the poorly lit areas. This is all about awareness of surroundings. Second one is risk assessment, and an individual is needed the risk assessment, and he or she needs to be assess the risks. Risks may be fall in the every aspect of our life. If we are going on the road, then we can meet with an accident, and if we are at home, then we can fall ill. So such kinds of risks can occur in our life. So we have to be prepared for the risk assessment. Call for help. If someone is seriously injured or if the accident involves significant damage or danger, call emergency services immediately, 911 or local emergency number. Whenever we saw an incident like as someone meets with the accident, then we need to help him or her, and we should call on the emergency number, and we should call for the ambulance for the pickup early pickup of the patient to the hospital, so that the life can be saved. Provide clear and concise information about the location and nature of the accident, and we need to clarify the information about the accident, in which way the accident occurred, and what was the situation during the accident. So we need to be well prepared for these things. This is all about call for help. Now fourth one is protect yourself. Now how can we protect ourselves? We should use hand gloves while we are working on the electrical equipments, and we are going outside, then we should use a proper mask, and if we are driving a bike, then we should use a helmet, and if we are driving a car, then we should use the seat belt. So these all things are related to protection equipments, and we need to be protect ourselves at any time or in every situation. So this is all about protect protection. Do not move injured persons. Moving someone who is injured can worsen their condition, especially if they have a spinal injury. We shouldn't move the injured person if they have if they have got broken their bones or spinal injuries. If we will replace them, then they can be more injured and their situation can be turned in a bad situation. Only move them if they are in immediate danger and you are trained to do so safely. And you have to move them in an emergency and you need to be properly trained to do the same thing. Now, sixth one is communicate clearly. We need to communicate clearly with the helpline on the helpline number, and if we are calling to ambulance, then we should be our communication should be clear with the ambulance driver, and if we are calling to the police station, so during that situation our communication should be clear. Stay calm and reassure others. Remaining calm can help maintain control of the situation and reassure those involved or affected by the accident. We should remain calm and we should have a proper control on the situation, and we should be sure for that situation and how that can hamper the health of an individual. Offer comfort and support while waiting for professional help to arrive. Now we need to offer the comfort and support while we are waiting for the proper treatment and for the proper first aid. Assist with first aid. And how can we assist the injured person with the first aid? We can wrap a bandage towards the injured place of the injured person, and we can give him or her some antibiotics to get recovery from the injury. So this is all about assist with first aid. Basic life support BLS is a critical emergency procedure used to support and maintain the life of someone who is in a cardiac arrest or experiencing respiratory failure. Basic life support is such a thing if a person is card- cardiovascular disease and he or she is unable to take breath in a proper situation, so we need to do a proper treatment for the same, and we need to give oxygen to that particular person so that he can inhale the oxygen in a proper way and he can be recovered from that disease. Assess the situation. Before approaching the accident scene, ensure it is safe for you to do so. Look out for any ongoing hazards such as traffic, fire, or structural instability. Before approaching the accident scene, you need to be safe to do the help of that injured person, and we need to be properly aware with the traffic rules and any other legal actions, and we should help the injured person at the very early moment so that he or she can be his or her life can be saved immediately. Check responsiveness. Gently take the person and shout loudly, "Are you okay?" Look for any response such as movement, sound, or breathing. And in that situation, we need to shout loudly and ask the injured person that how he or she is feeling, and if there is any moment, then we can assume that the injured person is giving his or her responses, and after that we can call for the ambulance and we can take that injured person immediately to the hospital. Check for signs of circulation. Check for signs of circulation such as a pulse. If you cannot detect a pulse within 10 seconds, begin chest compressions. And we need to check the pulse. If we are unable to check the pulse, then we need to press the chest of the injured person so that we can assume that what is the situation of that injured person. Perform chest compressions. Place the heel of one hand on the center of the person's chest between the nipples. We need to put our hand on the chest, and we should check the heartbeat of the injured person, and we also should check the pulse at that very moment so that we can know that in which situation the injured person suffering from. Provide rescue breaths. After 30 compressions in about 18 seconds, deliver to rescue breaths. After 30 compressions at the chest, we need to deliver to rescue breaths. We should help the injured person in the rescue of the breathing. Maintain the head tilt and chin lift position. We need to maintain the head tilt and the position of the chin in a proper way. Pinch the person's nose closed and create a seal over their mouth with your mouth. And in the rescue of breathing, we need to pinch the nose of the injured person and we should compress with our mouth on the mouth of the injured person so that the proper rescue breathing can be done. Position victim on back, open airway with head tilt, chin lift. Use a barrier device, give breath over about 1 second. Watch victim's chest rise. This is all about rescue breathing. Continue BLS until help arrives. Continue performing BLS until EMS personnel arrive, take over, or the person shows signs of life and starts to breathe normally. And after the rescue breathing, we can be come to know about that the injured person is feeling better now, and we need to check the BLS and EMS of that particular person. Document and report. After the incident, document what happened, actions taken, and any information that might be useful or medical professional or authorities. And after the incident, the doctors and nurses prepare the proper documentation for the vital signs of the injured persons, and they provide a proper treatment to the injured person so that the injured person can be recovered very soon. Hospital emergency codes. Now we will talk about hospital emergency codes. Code blue indicates a medical emergency such as cardiac or respiratory arrest. It prompts medical personnel to respond immediately to the location where the code was called. So blue code is used in the medical emergency for the cardiovascular diseases and respiratory system breakdown, and it develop the medical personnel to respond immediately to the location where the code was called. Code red often signifies a fire or smoke within the hospital. It triggers evacuation procedures and alerts fire response teams. and code red is often identified as a fire or smoke identifier in the hospitals. If the hospitals sets on the fire, then the red code is used that the hospital has caught the fire, and the proper steps can be taken to overcome on the fire. Code gray, typically used to indicate a combative person, often a patient or visitor who poses a threat and requires assistance from security personnel. And gray code is used to indicate the communicative person, often like such a visitor and a HHA who poses a threat and requires assistance from security personnel. Code yellow, often used to indicate a situation requiring additional staff such as a casualty incident or a sudden influx of patients. And yellow code is used to ask for the extra staff such as nurses and HHAs for the treatment of the injured person in an emergency situation. The standard procedures to be followed in case of institutional emergencies. Institutional emergencies in various settings, including hospitals, schools, and workplaces, require standardized procedures to ensure the safety and well being of everyone involved. And various institutes like schools, colleges, and hospitals. So there should be a proper management to overcome on the fire incidents and any other accidents which occurs on the daily basis, so that that incidents can be resolved at the very moment and can be saved the various peoples from any injury, while specific procedures can vary based on the type of institutions and its location, and such kinds of things are varied from the situations at the place of the incidents. Now we will talk about the standard procedure to be followed in case of institutional emergencies. First one is recognition and initial response. We need to recognize the situation and we should take a initial response. We should give an initial response for the same activation or of emergency codes. We should activate the emergency code like as red code and yellow code and gray code, etc. Evacuation and sheltering, safety and security measures. We need to follow the safety and security measures, assessment and monitoring. And a person needs to assess the situation of the injured person, and he needs to take the steps to monitor the situation of the injured person, recovery and debriefing. And we need to think about the spontaneous recovery of that injury and debriefing of the situation, documentation and follow up. And the doctors prepare the proper documents for the treatment of the injured person, and they take follow up from their seniors for the earlier treatment. Protective devices such as restraints and safety devices are used in various institutional settings, including healthcare facilities, to ensure the safety and well-being of individuals under specific circumstances. And there are various protective devices like as restraints and stretchers and wheelchairs are used for the various institutional settings. And in the field of the healthcare, these equipments are used on the daily basis for the well-being of the injured and ill persons. So we need to take the follow-up from the doctors on the daily basis. Restraints. Physical restraints. Physical restraint any direct physical contact where the intention of the person intervening is to prevent, restrict, or subdue movement of the body or part of the body of another person. So physical restraints can help the injured person while the treatment is going on, and we need to take the proper steps for the physical restraints, and a HHA needs to cure for the injured person throughout the restraints. Now we will talk about chemical restraints. Chemical restraints are such a thing that are used as antibiotics for the treatment of the injured person, such as syringe, and the various antibiotics are used for the treatment of the injured person. Safety devices, wonder alarms, alerts staff if a patient or resident with cognitive impairment tries to leave a designated safe area. There are wonder alarms in the hospitals and in the working places for the proper rescue of the any injurious incident. Seat belts and wheelchair restraints. And while we are when the patient is lying on the bed, then there should be a proper seat belt and wheelchairs, and there are wheelchair restraints which protect the patient from falling down. So these things are very mandatory for the proper rescue of any injury. Considerations and best practices. Assessment and documentation. We have earlier talked about the assessment. Assessment is such a thing that the doctor and HHA recognize the insi- uh, recognize the aspects of the any injury, and they also judge the situation of the injured person, and they take the proper treatment for that injury, and the documentation are related to the doctors. They prepare documentation for the treatment of the injured person, and they also mention about the vital signs of the injured person. Patient rights. Restraints should only be used when less restrictive measures have been deemed ineffective or insufficient. Patients also have rights. They can take a legal action towards the doctors if they don't provide them a proper Medicare. So this is all about the patient rights. Thank you for watching our video, and if you have any query, then you can ask in our comment section, and if you want to take our notes, then you can visit on our official website www.nursingcareerclub.com. We will see you in the next video.